Hey friends, it's pretty early here in the Conlin clan family. 5 a.m. My little one came to me with a dream, and that happens. But I always ask the Lord if there's something deeper that He wants to do, because I really believe that dreams, they're a time when God can really get to us, when we're not being distracted by real life and just the things, the circumstances that could trigger these deep emotions that can sometimes be buried. And we can often assign those feelings to a person or someone, annoying us, when really it's an issue inside of us that needs to be dealt with. And I feel like dreams can really bring that out. And I love being a part of this process with my kids because I can start early with them, and there's not so many layers that they're going to have to go through. And I just think about some of these dreams that my kids have, being chased or feeling trapped. I mean, we all have those kinds of out of control feelings in our lives. And so when Alina came to me in the night, I asked the Lord, just, just praying over her and just speaking life into her, and just, God, what is this, the source of this fear of being trapped? And I was also realizing that in the past couple days, there have just been some interactions between her and I that have been less than ideal. Just feelings of not wanting to be snuggled or hugged or touched. And I know all kids go through moments where they just resist that, but she has been one of mine where, this sensory input has overloaded her from the beginning. I mean, as a baby, she didn't want to be swaddled, didn't want to be wrapped. Most times, this is comforting to babies. And I couldn't figure out why my daughter did not want this sort of input into her body. And as an OT, I've known that sensory processing is something that's going on in your nervous system. It's triggering your fight or flight system, and you just want to get away. You're totally freaking out just because of this touch that is this input, this sensory experience that you're having. So as a mom, this has been one of the biggest challenges, because while I know all of the science behind it, there's an emotional capacity that I didn't really expect to experience with a little person that you need to interact with every day. And for me, it's been easy for me to sort of take this personally and realize and think that, oh my goodness, she doesn't like me, or I'm not a good mom. And my go-to emotion, my negative go-to emotion, is always shame, where it's just like, I'm just not good enough. What's wrong with me? Why can't I comfort my child? That has been one of our huge disconnecting points in my relationship with my daughter. So last night when she came to me with this dream, I had this realization all of a sudden, where the Holy Spirit just showed me that this sensory thing that's going on with her started with birth trauma. And she, at one point in my labor, I had a cervical lip. She got stuck. I cannot explain the experience other than it just felt like I was going to explode sideways. Instead of the pressure going down, it felt like it was expanding sideways, and it scared me so much because I knew something wasn't right. And she really was stuck for a little bit. And, kids, when they're inside our bodies, they receive all of those neurochemicals that when we are experiencing emotion, that's getting transferred to them. And I was panicking in that moment where she was kind of stuck. And all of a sudden I realized, oh my goodness, this was that birth trauma that impacted her neurology. So if anything surrounds her in a way that she feels like she can't get away, or she doesn't have a choice in being in that place, it's not going to feel like love and affection. It's going to feel terrifying. And so I just broke that off of her. I prayed that trauma off of her. I just reminded her, little spirit, that she gets to choose whether she wants to receive love or not. And all of a sudden, I had this compassion for her instead of taking it personally and feeling like, oh my goodness, she's rejecting me and my affection for her. It's like I got to see myself from her perspective. She was feeling panicked and trapped. Just being able to connect with my story of feeling panicked and trapped and not knowing how to get this baby out during my labor, I was able to connect with how she might have been feeling inside there, and how that could carry over into different times in her childhood life where, man, my brother's on top of me, he's just trying to give me a hug, but I feel trapped, and it really shifted my thinking. So I just wanted to encourage y'all just to step into this place of understanding. If you guys have a sensory kid, if you have even a spouse in your life that has sensory issues, like, man, it is not personal. It really is what is going on inside their body and inside their spirit. And so just asking the Lord to give you that story that will connect with their heart, and that story that will connect with their experience, so that the pushing away or the rejection does not feel personal. It's a point of connection and understanding, so, and freedom, that they can choose you. And when they do, I'm excited to see how this moves forward with my daughter, because giving her that freedom when she does choose to come to me for affection, wow, that's going to be such an amazing moment, because then she will be ready to receive all of my love for her. So blessings on your sensory people and all the people in your life that may be struggling with this. Bless you all to just come to some new revelation and understanding.